everyone, this is Lock Knight. Welcome back to another video on the Great Builds YouTube channel. And if you're watching this after the last one, well, today's a double feature for you because the video that came out earlier today was supposed to come out last week and it accidentally got scheduled for today. So you're getting a double feature. Now, this is interesting because there is going to be a bit of connection between the two videos, and at the end of the last video I mentioned that there's a big change coming to the city and that I'm rearranging the layout. This video is to discuss what that will look like, what buildings are staying, what buildings are going, the reasons why I'm doing it, as well as just going over what might change and how long this process will take. So, let's get into the reasons why I'm doing this. The reasons why I'm doing this are simple. The first reason is that this Cities project has gone on for a whole year now, and more than that actually, goodness, time flies, but because of that, I've learned so many things over time about building large-scale LEGO displays like this, that if I could go back, I would change them. And redoing this city design will give me the chance to actually look at these things and change them, which is pretty cool. Now, this is also worth mentioning, but the other reason why I'm doing this is the table layout. First of all, this little U shape just isn't working for me, so I want to make it a more rectangular shape. I also want to make sure that I can access the table from all sides, unlike this current display where the back wall is where the table ends. And also, the train area here does not really work with the elevated railway because LEGO trains have a very hard time going up slopes, and an even harder time going up and down slopes that are built on turning track like we have here. So the plan is to make the city different in terms of the track design at some point as well. Now, I also wanted to focus a little bit more on the process for what I'm choosing to keep and what I'm not choosing to keep. Just in case you are wondering, all the trains and all the cars and vehicles in the city will stay the same. I do not plan to get rid of or change any of those vehicles right now. There might be changes in the future, but for right now I'm happy with all that, so that gets to stay. Now, the buildings are where things get interesting. So, we have all these creator buildings in the middle of the city, and the plan is to keep those because they're modular. I can just pick them up and move them. Now, they may change where they are in the city because the road layout and the sidewalk layout is not going to stay the same. I want to have a more, focused main road than what I have here. And, of course, we have some other buildings that are going to stay the same, too, like this town hall build and the observatory I want to keep as well as some of these houses and the firehouse, as well as the train station, of course. That's not going anywhere. Now, I want to talk to you about what buildings are going to not really stick around for this city layout. The buildings that won't be staying in the city are the newsstand, because we have one over there, we don't need more than one, and the police station, which is just going to get changed instead of removed. I just want to change it so that it has more stories, because right now it's on only one-story building, and I want to change it because it contains so much surface area that could be used for some other stuff. Now, moving over to the beach. This beach is going to get entirely redone. When I was talking about building practices that I've learned over building this city for so long, when this beach was originally constructed, there was all tan plates beneath these tan plates here used for the beach. And that's a waste of tan pieces because I use tan pieces for a lot of stuff in the city. And I want to change it so that way I'm using different colored bricks beneath this. But I also want room to add a harbor because I want to make room for some boats. Especially the Destiny's Bounty I have in my collection that I feel like deserves a spot in the city. So, I wanted to focus on that, and also, I don't want the train track floating over the water blocking people's view, because that just seems kind of pointless. So, that'll change, along with the amusement park. It's probably not going to change that much, but I do want to remove or change the shape of the large blue roller coaster, because right now, the amusement park takes up so much space, and I feel like relative to the size of the city, this is ridiculous to have an amusement park this large. So I'm going to change it, size it down a bit. And of course, again, there's a train track running through this one. I don't want that. Because this makes it so that people at the amusement park have to cross the train track just to get to the merry-go-round. And they have to cross back over for the Ferris wheel, which is ridiculous. So that's going to get changed, definitely. And we have, over here, the beautiful temple that's based off of one of the Ninjago core sets. And I plan to keep this 100% the way it is And it might stay in a similar spot in the new design as well, because I just love how this looks. It might be my favorite part about the city, and it's based on 2 base plates as a module, so it's easy to move as well. Now, in regards to the tracks for the train, I do plan on keeping these little railroad ties all over it because it looks very good, but again, the design will change. Now, let's move over to the residential area. It might be a tie between the amusement park and this area, but this area of the residential area is going to receive the biggest glow up when it comes to this new design for the LEGO City. I kind of left this alone for the most part when I was working on this city design when it was in its current layout, but I didn't really do anything to make it look good, and there's only 3 houses and just driveways. Where's the other roads that would be here? So my plan is to build some more like side roads and stuff, and focus a little bit on the residential area in this newer design. I also might change where it's located as well, but we'll see about that. Just so you know, the fire station over here will remain the same. I am very happy with this, because it's just a really good build. Now, moving over to the farm here, again, everything's probably going to stay the same. I have some slight ideas for a new barn for this farm, but other than that, everything will stay the same here. However, I might change a little bit of the layout specifically used for this as well, just because I feel like it would be good with a different layout. Now, of course, the one thing that's never going to change is this mountain. I spent way too much time putting this thing together, and it also is a very big pain to move around. So I'm likely actually going to keep this pretty much the same way. However, it's going to probably be like rotated 90 degrees or something like that, because when I rotate this whole table for this display, that's going to end up in the wrong spot. So, moving on, again, the elevated railway, it's probably going to go. Not a big fan of how this works. It was fun in concept to try out, but it really doesn't work with trains, especially the little freight train I have over there, because it's very back-heavy, and back-heavy trains don't do well on elevated railways, and the curve part really messes up with the trains a little bit. They just don't like going around this curve as they're going downhill, so that'll change. But the next thing is something that definitely will be going. I have no plans to include the spaceport in the next portion of the LEGO City display. However, in the future, if I do like a little island display, like a separate display, or if I do like a separate space theme display, which I might do, these will all go to that, so I plan to keep all of these things put together. The only difference is they will not be in the city project, and of course, that frees up room for other builds. Now, this area over here is where the river is, and I've learned a couple of techniques since building this river. I know it was still fairly recently, but this river design doesn't really work. It looks more like a canal. It's just straight up and down the whole display. And I want to make it more of a slightly wavy river, and I want to add texture beneath the water to act as like dirt and stones beneath the water. So there'll be some changes to that over time, and definitely want to mention this now. This project is not going to be done quickly, but I think it will be beneficial in the long run for a lot of the fun things I have planned. Now, finally, we come to the most difficult part to talk about, the botanical gardens. I know I just spent like the past couple of weeks working on this for videos, but it is quite large, and in this newer city design, I don't know if I'm going to want to allocate that much space to it. However, I love the fence design, and the greenhouse is going to stay no matter what. And of course, I'd love to keep some of these plant designs, but there's also a lot of like open space in here that just doesn't make much sense. I'd love for the plants to be more condensed and to have a little bit more thought put into the plants I have here, rather than just stacking pieces up on the ground to hopefully make it look good. So, this is going to remain likely the same design, it just might change slightly in the size and maybe where the plants are placed. So, that's about all I've got for this city video. I just wanted to go over some of the things that I want to do for this city, but I also wanted to at least give you one last look over the city before we do these big changes that are coming soon. Now, again, this project will not happen overnight, so I have some other types of videos that'll be coming out over the next few weeks. I have a very interesting couple of videos of reviews of sets that I've gotten recently, and also a building challenge that I did, as well as trying out a couple of different modifications to sets. So, a bunch of fun things to see in the meantime while I'm working on this, but I will keep you up to date on the city in case something changes with it, and you'll likely see the progress as the new city comes to life. Now, I really quickly want to thank everyone who's been watching these videos since the very, very beginning of this whole LEGO City project, because it's great when people see from start to finish, and if you're new, there is a playlist, a link at the end of the video, for you to kind of see how this city came to be from start to finish. Now, I will admit, at the start of the city project, I wasn't using a premium editing software, so there is a little bit of watermarks, but over time, as I said, I've learned things about filming this giant LEGO city and building this LEGO city. So, I hope you all enjoyed the process of this city as it was now, and I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Stay tuned for the next one, and I hope you all have a great day.